architectural project always starts from a process, starting from collecting references to formulating design concepts. Every stage of the process plays an important role in shaping the final result of the project. A structured process helps to realize an effective and targeted project. Process and project in architectural design. This study was compiled as part of an English course assignment. The study was compiled by a group of students.
Hello, my name is Anwar Safarudin.
My name is Ariel Setiawan.
My name is Fajar Pamungkas.
The three students will discuss the process and development of an architectural project through a dialogue.
Good morning. Let's get straight to the point. Mr. Fajar, what is a straight line?
The shortest distance between two stakes connected by a tall structure. That's our reference point.
Okay. The easiest way to make a straight line and what tools are needed?
The stick and string method. Tools, stake, rope, water level or water hose, and hammer.
Okay, now quickly list the 5 basic steps. Let's begin.
First, determine point A and B. Next, let's take at A and B, making sure they are secure. After that, tie the rope tightly and pull it out. Then, check the level using the water hose. Finally, tighten the line and adjust if it is bending.
Good. Make sure the pegs are solid and the water level is accurate. That's the key to precision. Continue working.
Ready.
Good morning, Fajar. We are about to start the painting mock-up in this room. Please explain the correct step for the interior wall painting process.
Good morning, sir. First, we start with surface preparation. That means we must clean the wall surface of any dust, dirt, or oil. The surface must be completely clean.
Alright, what do we do after cleaning the surface?
After cleaning, if there is existing paint, we must inspect it. Then we must scrape off all paint or any failing section. All flaking areas must be fully removed.
And what if we find minor cracks on the wall surface?
After that, we move to the repair stage. We patch the surface if there are any cracks or small holes using spackle or wall filler. Ensure the patch is level with the wall surface.
Okay, what is the next step?
Once the patch area is dry, finally shading. Then we move to the base coating stage. We apply one coat of primer. This is important to ensure good adhesion for the top coat.
And after the primer is dry,
After sufficient drying time, then we apply the first coat of the top coat. Finally, after the first coat is dry, we apply the second coat to get a solid and smooth finish.
very good. Make sure the drying time is followed properly to prevent freezing.
Understood, Mr. Anwar? Hey Anwar, I see on Instagram your company is hiring new employees. How do you usually handle the recruitment process?
Yeah, that's right. We started posting job opening on Instagram and had the company email there.
Oh, tadi ini kenal nggak? You can apply online.
Actually, after that, our ER team collects all the CV and does the initial screening to shortlist the most suitable career there.
What happened next? Do you call them for interview?
Sorry, yes, yes. Why the satellites carry that for an interview? If the position requires specific skill, we also give them a psychological test or a technical test.
Makes sense. And after they pass the test,
Then we make a job offer and send them the employment contract. Once they accept, we do an onboarding system to help them understand your company culture and policies.
sound like a solid process. No wonder your company always great people.
Thanks, we just believe in hiring carefully and making sure new employees feel belong from day one.
In there, your company is hiring unskilled laborers. Who does the recruitment process work?
Yeah, that's true. The process is much faster and simpler than for regular employees.
Really? Do they still have to go through interviews? Really? Do they still have to go through interviews?
Not really. There is usually no formal selection. Sometimes the hire through a formal personal connection or even labor again.
I see. What about the contract? Do they see anything?
Usually there is no long-term contract. Most of them work on a daily or weekly basis.
And how do they get
That's
paid?
but the wages are paid daily or weekly, not monthly, like the office staff.
Pastinya. That sounds very straightforward. Alright then. Thank you for the information.
Yes, you're welcome.
Oh, Anwar, I know how you got your current position.
Of course, it started with simple. First, I saw the job vacancy on a company website.
Oh, really? What did you do next?
Then, I submit my CV and portfolio through their online form. After that, they called me for an interview. It went really well, and finally they gave me a job offer and started working there like
Mas, dulu Bang, Mas.
That sounds that sounds like a smooth process. Congrats again, man.
really. Thanks, I'm really happy with this opportunity.
Thank you for all the information, Anwar. Sorry to bother you.
Yes, no problem, Fajar.
Hey, Anwar, do you know how to the overtime from process works here?
Yeah, it's pretty simple. First, you need to fill out the overtime request form.
Where can I get that from?
You can download it from the company portal or ask HR for a copy.
Okay, after I fill it out, what should I do next?
Then you submit it to your supervisor for approval.
So, PR doesn't approve it directly.
Not at first, your supervisor approves it first, then PR will finalize and record your operating hours.
Good it. So the process is fill the form, submit it, get supervisor approval, and then hear confirmation.
Exactly, that's the whole process.
Thank you, Anwar.
Hi Aril, with the application process at your profile's office.
That's the way we used to do it. Everything was manual, but now the system is fully computerized.
Really? How does the new system work?
First, when an invoice comes in, it goes to the account department. They type the purchase order number into the computer system and scan the invoice. Then they enter the payment date, invoice number, and the amount to be paid.
So the system check everything automatically.
Exactly. After that, it verifies if the info. Bener ya? Ulang. Exactly. After that, it verifies if the invoice amount is correct and if it has been proved on everything, it's okay. And finally, authorization is given and the payment is processed. It's much faster, easier, and with fewer mistakes.
The revision in our department, the purchase process is slightly different. Please we match each invoice with the purchase order first. Then send it for approval before scanning into the computer system. Only after that do we request authorization and make the payment.
Oh, I see. So your flow starts with checking the purchase order manually before uploading the invoice.
Yes, I ensure that every invoice is going to a valid purchase order. It takes a bit long, but it adds another layer of assurance.
That makes sense. Both systems have their advantages. Ours is faster and yours is more thorough.
Oh yeah, Aril, what do you think is the difference between your life at your previous office and now?
Well, I used to work in a very small company. I used to handle almost everything by myself, from purchasing to administration.
Wow, that sounds tough.
It was. But now, in this company, everything is more organized. We have specific department for each task. I only focus on purchasing.
That must be a big change.
Definitely. I used to write purchase order manually, but now we do everything through the computer system. It's much faster.
Same here. I used to come home late every day because of paperwork. Nowadays, most reports are digital, so I can finish work on time.
That's great. Technology really makes our job easier now.
Absolutely, I don't need the all day at all. Hey Ari, what actually is an emergency housing?
Sure. It's a temporary place for people to live when their homes are damaged or destroyed, usually during disaster.
Humanly during earthquakes or floods.
Natural disaster. Exactly. It can also be used after volcanic eruptions or other natural disasters.
What kind of shelter do they usually use?
Most of the time, they use tent, container house, or prefab buildings because they are quick to set up.
Who usually provides the shelter?
Salah. Usually, the government, NGO, or organization like BNPB and volunteers help build and distribute them.
Yeah, that's great. It's really important to have those shelter ready during emergencies.
Absolutely. They help people stay safe until they can rebuild their homes.
Hey Ariel, I heard your team just finished a housing project for disaster victims. What happened exactly?
Yes, we were working on emergency housing after the earthquake in Lombok. Many people lost their homes, so we need a quick solution.
Oh, I see. What kind of housing did you use?
We use container housing units made with steel modular construction. They're strong, easy to transport, and can be installed quickly.
That sound perfect for emergency situation.
Exactly. They are also portable. So if need, the unit can be Exactly. They are also portable. So if need, the unit can be moved to another location.
How long does it take to build one?
Not long. The modules are prefabricated at the factory, then delivered and assembled on site. It's much faster than building a traditional house.
That's impressive. Still modular house seem like a great solution for post-disaster recovery.
They really help provide safe and durable shelter for people in need. Good morning, Mr. Fajar. I'd like to review a few fundamental aspects of our project.
Good morning, sir. Please go ahead.
First, every project must have a clear beginning and an end. For example, this project starts with planning and ends when the house are officially handed over to the local government.
I agree. Without a defined timeline, it will not be considered a project.
Second, a project always requires people. Without the workforce and planning time, execution will be impossible.
That's right. Human resources are the key element of any construction project.
Third, a project must be led by a project manager to ensure proper control of time, cost, and quality.
Exactly. Coordination from the PM determines how well the project runs.
Next, every project involves a team. Large-scale works like this housing project cannot be handled individually.
Absolutely, teamwork is essential for efficiency and quality.
Lastly, most projects are for client, but there are also internal projects like facility renovation.
I agree, it depends on the type and purpose of the project.
So, understanding this basic principle will help us manage the project effectively.
Agree, Ariel?
By the way, in your opinion, what are the key factors for a successful construction project?
I think there are five main factors here. Time, cost, quality, safety, and communication.
Exactly. If the schedule is delayed, the cost will definitely increase. That's why time control is important.
Yes, and if costs are managed well, quality can drop. Everything has to stay balanced.
Right. Also, safety must be maintained. One accident can stop the whole project.
I agree, sure. We also keep good communication among the teams to ensure smooth coordination.
Good. If we manage those 5 factors properly, the project will be successful. Maybe we can also discuss the agenda project kick-off meeting.
Sure, sir. It usually starts with the team introduction and role assessment.
Correct. That we explain the project objective, scope, and key milestone.
Don't forget the budget review to ensure proper cost control from the start.
Agree. We also need to cover risk management, communication, and document control procedure.
Let's complete, sir. With this agenda, the team can start the project with a clear direction.
Exactly. Everything's ready for tomorrow's meeting.
Understood, Ariel. Mr. Ariel, thank you for meeting with me today. I've been reading the proposal, but there are some financial terms I don't quite understand.
Of course, Mr. Anwar. I'll be happy to explain them. Which one would you like to go over?
Let's start with fixed fee. What exactly does that mean?
Fixed fee means a set payment agreed upon at the beginning of the project. The amount stay the same even if our actual costs change.
I see. And what about bonus?
Bonus is an additional payment we can receive if we finish the work earlier or meet certain quality targets.
Got it? And lump sum?
A lump sum means one total payment that cover everything: material, labor, and management costs.
I also the team cost outline in this document. What does that mean?
Cost overrun happens when the project expenses are higher than the budget we planned.
Then saving must be the opposite, right?
Exactly. Saving occur when the actual cost is lower than budget, meaning we spend less than expected.
This concludes this brief review. Thank you for watching.